Oh, be careful.
Oops, okay. Here you go.
What? I gotta get closer.
Why is that open back there?
Because I like to have the light.
Well, there's no light now.
Well, it's fine. Is it bothering you, really?
Yeah, because the whole neighborhood can watch us do
Nobody's
it.
outside.
It could be a peeping Tom out there.
Okay.
Bushed. So bushed. Well, Albert, Hector,
10.
ACNC12, Michael, Linda, Kara. The usual VIPs making their way into their front row seats. Hello, Joe. Justin. Tammy. Hello, Jeff. My man. My man.
Jeff, bad influence, Jeff?
Mm-mm.
No. Another Jeff? I haven't heard from BIJ in a while.
Maybe he's self-quarantining. I know he's out partying one night. Right?
Yeah. Yep. A lot of people logging on. Thank y'all for being here.
Oh, Connie.
You know, we would do this on Facebook where we'd have hundreds of people joining us, but the quality's so bad.
How bad is it?
It just glitches and catches on. I tried doing it the other day for the first time, thinking maybe Facebook has figured it out. They have not. So instead of doing a big, it's just an intimate little group of us, right? Let's just keep it small and intimate. Why not? At least that's the way it's going. I promise you this, though. No singing tonight. But wine. Because I got to finish that screw top bottle. I need a shower. I need to exercise. What are you looking at?
I mean, somebody's got to have something. Do you have anything?
I've always got something.
Oh, see that? I licked my finger. I'm not supposed to do that. You're supposed to touch your
You
face
can
or
lick,
lick
you
your
know
finger.
what? But we're home now and you've washed your hands. So if you wash your hands and then put your hand in your mouth, I mean, we should all get in the habit of not doing
See, I'm
that.
more conscious of this now.
I am too. When I was at the grocery store today, I was like real conscious, but we'll talk about that in a minute. You ready?
Jeff must have been listening. Did you do a love letter about Alan's nephew?
Yes.
He must have heard that.
That was today's podcast.
Oh, it's today's podcast?
Well,
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Does Alan have a gay nephew? Does Alan have a nephew?
You do, by marriage.
By marriage. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. You ready?
No, I'm not ready.
I was hoping we could watch an episode of Tiger King before we go to bed.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about that?
Sure. I told you that stuff.
So you got something?
Wait, Aaron, stop.
What,
You're
babe?
making the people think we don't care. It's like we don't bring anything. My phone's off. Man, my phone has been blown up. I'm on so many group texts right now. So many group texts.
Who are you on there with?
Podcast family, women, my cousins, and Tommy Jean back in South Carolina. Look at me touching my face. Irresponsible. But my nose is itching.
All right. You ready? Give me something.
Test 1, 2. Test.
Dean Gilberry, please pick up the red courtesy phone. Dean Gilberry, please pick up the red courtesy phone. Dean Gilberry.
Gilberry, that's probably a Scottish name, wouldn't you say?
G'day, mate.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to another episode of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. We are live. We are in quarantine. What's going on? Why are you looking at me funny?
Hello, Madeline.
Oh.
Hey, Trent in the house.
This is Kelly Raspberry Evans.
Well, this is a podcast, so are we live?
Well, we're live recording it.
Oh, Okay.
You threw me off when you looked at me like I was weird.
Well, I thought we were, for a minute, I thought we were broadcasting.
Well, we are. We record the podcast live on our YouTube channel, which we never talk about, as evidenced by how many people actually show up to watch us from it.
Well,
but we love the people who
it's
do.
It's an
intimate family.
loyal.
Our loyal YouTube family at a Sandwiches and
I mean,
Lovin.
if they'll show up for this buffoonery twice a week, that is a
Right.
loyal group of your very, very best customers.
We do appreciate it very much. We always have, the usual suspects. Sam from New Zealand. We have
Kara Gifford,
Yeah, you can see the I can't
Justin
see the
Walker,
screen.
Michael,
Mark
Plinsky, Abe Flores. Big players on this thing.
See, Mark
ACNC 12.
Mark and I go way back.
Well,
Mark back in the day.
Mark Plinsky?
Yeah.
Really?
I think I'm remembering this, Mark, and you'll remind me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. Mark used to aggravate the snot out of me on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah. Is that you, Mark? I think that's you. There can't be more than one Mark Plinsky. It's all good now, Mark. I appreciate you being here. But yeah, he used to really give me a lot of grief.
About what?
I just, comments on my Facebook page. When that used to be the only game in town.
Like
right?
what?
I don't remember, honey. It's been so long.
Political leanings or what?
No, I just think he was just, messing with me probably. Perhaps flirting. Is that what it was?
What do you think of how the president's handled the coronavirus?
Me personally, how can you really say? No, honestly, I mean, it's like, I think what he's trying to do is be very optimistic. I can see under his watch, he wants the country to get back to work as soon as possible with as little risk as possible. Are some of his ideas a little ambitious? Well, medical professionals say yes.
Kelly, it's the Chinese virus.
He's not saying that
It's
anymore.
the Chinese virus. You know why it's the Chinese virus?
Because it came from
Because
China.
it comes from China.
Right.
China.
Yeah, but he's not doing that anymore. I think somebody.
What do you think? That was my first
Good,
attempt.
That was good.
Yeah.
It sounds a little like Reagan, but
No,
nothing
Reagan.
of a difference.
No, Reagan
And
is
Clinton.
Mr.
Kind of all mischief.
Gorbachev. Tear down this wall.
Right.
That's Reagan. And what'd you say the other one was?
Clinton, maybe?
Well, it depends on what the definition of is.
I know that's the one line you got, but you got to expand past that.
I did
eventually.
not have relations with that woman,
And that
Monica
one too.
Lewinsky.
No, but look, everybody thinks they know what they would do if they were president. I'll be honest. I don't know what I would do. I would be totally freaking out. That's why I don't run for political office, because I don't know. You should see me in the voting booth. You should see me in the voting booth. I try really hard to be a good American citizen, and I try to vote when, I'll be honest, I don't vote in every election, but I'm trying. As I get older, I know it's been pounded into my brain. It is our civic duty to vote. And sometimes in those midterm elections and things, you're like, there's only the incumbent running or whatever. Get in there, because apparently there's other issues on the ballot. You should see me in there trying to read. If you vote yes, that really means you're voting no to Proposition 16-AC3. And how do you feel about water running through the park if the water runs this way and that way? I'm like, I panic. On some of those little, what do you call those? I can't even say it correctly.
That seems to be kind of a recurring theme with you lately.
I panic.
Yeah. Lots of panic.
I like to think of myself as an intelligent person, but the older I used to really think I was smart. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing when I was in my 20s. But the older I get, I realize the less I know. And in that lies the wisdom. Right there.
That's very Confucius, babe. That's very Confucius.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's that's true too.
I don't know what to do about coronavirus. I'd really like it to hurry up and get on out so we can all get back to our regular lives. However, I will say, parts of this self-quarantine I'm digging.
Like?
Okay, I get to work from home. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I've been working from home now. I can't wait to go back to work. Yes, I miss, there's certain things about going into the office I do miss, but I go to work. I have to be at the office. I'm supposed to be there at 5:30 a.m. I can just I just walk down the hall, past the kitchen, turn on my microphone. I've been working out of your office, Alan. It's been bliss. I mean, it's just been great. And Alan gets up every morning and makes me breakfast. It's been great.
Give me some glory. Give me some glory.
I've given you tons of glory.
Give me
All
the
I do
glory.
is brag on you.
Okay.
Today you made me a breakfast sandwich.
No, I'm not doing it so I get some glory. I
You're
feel
so sweet.
Well, I feel sorry for you. You're just sitting here.
Don't feel sorry for me.
Well, you're sitting here in this little room.
I love it.
You're just in here by yourself.
I love it.
And you know what room this is?
Your office. I can't hear what you just played.
It's that room.
What room? I can't hear what you're playing.
You need some cans.
Well, you're not wearing them, but you know what you played. What did you play?
Well, you'll have to listen to the podcast.
Oh, man, I got so much to do, Alan. I'm busy in quarantine.
No, but I've been making you breakfast. No, I was saying I feel sorry for you because you're sitting in this room by yourself. You're remote, so you can't. Well, you got little pictures of your coworkers on the screen here.
We use this thing. It makes us look like we're the Brady Bunch. You know how the grid with the Brady Bunch, where everybody's face pops up.
What's it called?
It's on this app called Zoom.
Zoom. Oh.
Yeah, Zoom. Why'd you say it like that?
Because we have an advertiser called Noom.
Oh, this is Zoom.
Oh, Zoom.
And Noom hasn't advertised with us in a while. What's up with that?
Mm.
But anyway, from what I found out, you can pay a premium and you can have a meeting to infinity, which is what we do on the Kid Craddock Morning Show, nationally syndicated. Yeah, I dropped a dime, Alan. So anyway, yesterday, I don't know.
Whatever.
So yesterday I decided with this little fun Brady Bunch grid thing that I would do it with my family in South Carolina. Because when I went home, my visit was cut short because I had to fly back to Texas. My boss was afraid the airports were going to be shut down. The quarantine was about to clamp down. I need to get back. And it was either going to be fly back early or risk driving back. So I flew back. And so we did with my cousins and my best friend since fifth grade, Tommy Jean, we did a Zoom meeting.
Tommy Jean.
But what I didn't know is apparently the first 40 minutes are free. And it said when the 40 minutes were up, it said, hey, because you're a new customer, we're going to go ahead and not impose the 40-minute time limit. So that was my first one was free. But I think Zoom, it must be free up to 40 minutes. So it's really great to get like a bunch of people around. But I think there's some other apps that do it. I think House Party another one that Anna told me about that was really fun.
So it's video
House
conferencing
Party.
Software.
Yeah, and House Party app.
Have y'all tried a group FaceTime?
I don't know how to group FaceTime.
Oh.
I don't know. I know how to FaceTime one person.
Oh, well, you can group FaceTime too.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There's also an app called House Party. I'm going to try that next too and see if there's any limitations with that. But it's been kind of fun. And, I keep saying I want to get on, Instagram Live and Facebook Live and just kind of hang out for a while. But honestly, I've been so busy.
What have you been doing?
I've been working. I've been cooking.
Boy.
I've been working with Emma Kelly and me, getting some stuff. It's hard running a little home business.
Kelly made a really astute observation after dinner. She said, dinner is bad when your husband gets up, goes and makes himself a bowl of ramen in the middle of dinner, then comes and sits back down.
I'm not a great cook. And like I told my daughter who's witnessing this going down, I said, honey, if we were young, little 20-something newlyweds, Alan would have probably choked down that dinner and not said a word other than, that was great, baby. Thank you for dinner. And that would have, been the end of that.
I never said anything derogatory. I just said, boy, babe.
It was bad.
It tastes like it's pickled.
It was bad.
It was pickled roast beef, or what was it? Pickled.
It was
chuck roast or something.
Bottom round roast. During quarantine, I've been going through the freezer and I was like, whatever meat's in there, we're going to cook it. And so I think it was a bottom round roast. Is that correct? Am I saying that correct? And I Googled easy bottom round roast crock pot recipe. And I found one that basically had everything I had in my pantry. It had, it needed some garlic cloves. It needed salt and pepper. It needed Worcestershire sauce and barbecue sauce. I had all of that. Onions, carrots, celery, potatoes. I forgot to put potatoes in, which maybe that would have saved it.
No.
Or I would have wasted a potato.
You would have wasted a potato.
But what I'm learning is I'm not a good cook. I'm not an instinctive cook. I should just follow a recipe. But you watch these people like Rachel Ray and her little, let's be honest, she thinks she's better than all of us and her cooking. And
You got her own pots and pans?
Yeah.
You got her own pots and
Yeah,
pans?
and everything's so yummo.
Yummo?
And she
What
just
is yummo?
Yummo. That's what right.
She says yummo?
Right.
Well, you gotta have a bit, babe.
That's her
it's
bit.
like Emerald. Bam. Everyone has
Right.
a bit.
And he and
Flavor
Chew.
Town. Going to Flavor Town. Everybody has a bit.
None of them measure anything. They just kind of guess.
Remember Justin Wilson? Ooh-wee. Remember he'd do that?
So the recipe.
Remember the Frugal Gourmet?
No.
Lewd.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Lewd.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Well, look him up. The Frugal Gourmet.
So anyway,
Lewd.
I looked up the recipe and then forgot about it. Right? I'm like, Worcestershire sauce, barbecue sauce, salt, pepper, garlic, vegetables. I got it. And it said, cook it on low heat 6 to 8 hours. Perfect. So I'm just going to feel it. And I ended up putting half a bottle of Worcestershire in there instead of, I think it called for half a cup. And
yeah, Kelly, I'm like,
yeah.
babe, this tastes like it has a lot of Worcestershire sauce in it. I said, how much did it call for? You said a cup.
Well, I think it was half a cup.
Half a cup. That's not much.
It's not much.
And then she said, well, it didn't look like it had enough liquid in it.
Right.
So I just started pouring Worcestershire sauce.
Right.
Like, babe, I mean, I'm not like Wolfgang Puck, but I think when you need more liquid, you would either do like chicken broth or just a little more water.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think.
Well, you know what? Rachel Ray told me to feel it. And I was feeling Worcestershire
I felt
sauce.
it. Oh, I felt it.
My ankles are going to be swollen.
I'm still
tomorrow.
feeling it.
I'm going to tell you because I'm going to eat it. Because I made it. I don't care how bad it is. I'm not throwing it away. I'm going to eat it.
Babe,
I told Alan he doesn't have to eat it. But I'll tell you this. I'll never make it again.
I got dress shoes in my closet that are more tender than that meat.
Oh, God.
What kind of cut is that?
Well, it's from the bottom. And apparently, from what I've learned, it's, the animals, when they're walking, they're using that bottom haunch a lot. And so it's got more muscle.
No, you want that. You want that tender
But
back.
honey, that's not what was in our freezer.
You want that tender back strap.
Not what was in our freezer.
Because that's the loin.
So anyway, it was a fail.
Yeah.
It was a fail.
Big fail. But I didn't make you feel bad about it. I just made me a pot of ramen. Ramen, however you say it.
Well, you know what? If I was more sensitive, new bride, it would have probably ended with me in tears in the bedroom, calling my mother, saying, come get me, but you can't because we're in quarantine.
If I knew you were sensitive, I would have choked it down. But I knew that you knew it was, well, no, I knew you knew it was fake. And I knew you knew that I knew it wasn't any good.
Yeah, but you could be more sensitive to my feelings sometimes. Just a little.
What?
Because at least I tried.
You did try, and I appreciate that very, very much.
But I won't be doing that recipe.
And as I told Kelly, everyone's good at something. Kelly's an award-winning regional radio star. Not an award-winning cook, but an award-winning regional radio star.
And I should be. I come from a line of excellent cooks.
Your mom's a great cook.
So, and she learned from my grandmama Raspberry.
Your mom's a great cook.
But you know what? I probably, if I think about it, I probably inherited my mother Price's cooking abilities.
Oh, where you just cook it to hell and back?
Well, my mother Price.
Because Southerners do that. And I know because my dad's Southern and my grandma would do that.
Aunt Velma's an excellent cook. She doesn't cook so much anymore. She's getting older, but man.
Yeah, your Aunt Velma can cook. Yeah.
Collard greens are like, oh my gosh. And I remember when I was a child, she taught me how to make her homemade biscuits. I never did it again after that lesson. Couldn't tell you how to make it. That's what I wish I would have, kept those things. But my mother still, excuse me, I'm getting a tickle in my throat.
Corona.
Anyway, she'll make me as a gift for every birthday special occasion. She makes me a big pot of rutabagas because I love them so much.
What's a rutabaga?
It's like a turnip root. And the last time she actually messed up and she bought turnips instead of rutabagas, but I told her, and they're easier to peel.
I don't eat it if I can't spell it.
It's so good. It's like eating candy to me. I love it. But it's not in me.
Is it a root?
My mother, yes, it's a root vegetable. My mother Price, she would make her own TV dinners. So basically, she would, get TV dinners used to come in these like tinfoil metal trays.
Like a Hungry Jack.
And she would save them. And then she would put whatever little leftovers, whatever it was, she would put them in there and wrap tinfoil around them and freeze them. And she'd have a TV dinner to go whatever. Smart idea, right? But then she'd also take whatever was left in the refrigerator, didn't care what it was, and she would put it into a loaf pan and she would bake it. And it was loaf. That's what we had was loaf.
Loaf?
It was loaf. What do we have for dinner with price? Loaf.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
It's whatever was left. And the one thing we kind of got where nobody wanted, my dad would not eat at her house anymore. He'd try to be polite, but he'd be like, oh, just ate, So she used to make her own homemade ice cream sandwiches, which were really delicious. So when I'd go over there, I'd be like, first thing in the door, Mother Price, do you make any ice cream sandwiches? Because she knew how much I love them. She'd make them all the time. Until one time she ran out and she said, you want to make them with me? Sure. So she'd get these big like windmill cookies from the grocery store and vanilla ice cream. And she put the cookies down. The ice cream has to be just a little bit soft. You have to let it melt a little bit so she could put the patty in there. She put the scoop in there and pat it down with her hands. And then she'd lick her fingers and make smooth it out around the edges. And she put the cookie together.
Corona.
Mother Price's secret ingredient was her spit.
COVID-19.
Oh my gosh. That's where I probably got my cooking.
I've been cooking and making stuff.
I just said you cook for me every morning and I appreciate it.
I have a milkshake recipe right off the top of my head. Can I give it? I'm going to give it after you do that.
All right.
It's good too. It's a Chick-fil-A, what do they call it? A Chick-fil-A copycat.
Yeah, a copycat menu. Yeah, item. Well, listen, one person who does not have to worry about eating my cooking ever is our dog, Larry. Alan said one rule when we got a dog. You said no table food.
No.
He will not let me feed him human food because I used to do that with my dog.
Makes him sick.
My other dog, George, and he was way overweight. And honestly, it cuts your dog's life short if they're not eating the food that's meant for them. And so, but I like Larry to be thrilled with what he's eating. And I'll tell you, he practically dances whenever he sees it's time for mealtime when I go get out my container of Ollie.
Ollie, yes.
Isn't he a different dog?
Oh, God. He's dancing around, spinning in circles.
It's true. When we used to put out just the regular dog food I give him, he would, eat it. And sometimes he'd eat it, leave it, come back later. He would not eat it in one sitting. With Ollie, it's a meal subscription, a dog food subscription, so it's delivered to your door, which is perfect during these times of quarantine too, when we're supposed to be self-isolating. But Ollie is a subscription service that comes to your home. Larry is in love with Ollie. We can never let this subscription go. Ollie puts dogs first, vet-formulated recipes, fully transparent ingredients to give your dog the healthiest food possible. They make fresh meals for dogs with real ingredients. People could eat them. See, that's the part. I want to, because I want to eat my food. But people could eat it. It's real food. And like I said, they deliver it to your door on a regular schedule. Beating out store-bought dog food at a 10-to-1 on the palatability scale. I didn't even know they had such a scale.
That means flavored.
I know. Now, because they create customized vet-formulated recipes made with all natural ingredients, there are no preservatives in there, sourced from U.S. family farms. You go to myollie.com and just answer a few questions about your dog because they want to know, the weight, the size of the dog too, because that lets them know how much you need to feed your dog. And you'll get shipped pre-portioned, easy for me to say, meals. So your dog gets the perfect portion every time. They've delivered 5 million meals and counting. Shipping is free. And if your dog doesn't like the meals, they've got a money back guarantee. But I'm going to tell you what, you won't need it.
Nothing to lose.
If your dog's like Larry, you're going to love it.
Ollie is offering our listeners 60% off your first box. 60% off your first box, plus a free bag of treats at myollie.com/try/Lovin, Lovin. This is the best deal they have available anywhere. So go to myollie.com/try/Lovin for 60% off, plus a free bag of treats. One more time, it's spelled myollie.com/try/Lovin, Lovin.
You got all that. I know you do.
Well, I said it 3 times.
I'm talking to the people listening.
Well, they're nodding knowingly right now. They're nodding knowingly right now.
If you got a dog, try it. I'm telling you.
Okay, here's what I got for you, listener, because we always give a little added value content. Every once in a while. We're in quarantine because there's something going around. And because there's something going around, we can't go to Chick-fil-A as often as we used to. I mean, you still can.
They're open, the drive-thru.
We're just not out and about as much. So the boys, they love milkshakes. So I said, you know what, guys? I'm going to make you a milkshake.
A little project to do at home with
I'm
the
going to
kids.
make you a milkshake. I mean, how hard can this be? They said, Daddy, do you have a blender? I said, well,
no.
Crap, I don't know if I have a blender. So I started poking around in the kitchen. And I'll be damned, we have a blender.
We do. Alan.
And that some bitch is from like 1972.
I wouldn't say 72, but you're not far off. I've had that blender.
Babe.
I know I've had that blender since I moved to Dallas in 1994.
It smells like burning oil when you run it.
The reason is apparently in moving it from house to house, apartment to apartment, wherever I've been, I think what the problem is, there's a little rubber ring that's supposed to go in the bottom where the base of the blender is around the blade, and that's missing. So the whole time you're running it, it's got this weird kind of smell happening. We need a new blender.
I think we need a new blender. So
this is what we got right now.
Send your recommendations for blenders to podcast@kellyandallen.com. Okay.
Are you seriously asking for blender recommendations?
Yeah, people, they're very helpful. Okay, so here's my recipe for the perfect Chick-fil-A knockoff milkshake. 1 1/2 cup milk. You can use, if you use whole milk, that's the best.
Why do you say milk? That's your bit.
1 1/2.
You say milk.
1 1/2 cups milk, 4 cups high quality ice cream, preferably. Who can take a rainbow in a clear blue summer sky and mix it with a gentle breeze in a bowl of clear sunshine?
What?
Bluebell. You'd have.
I didn't grow up in Texas. I don't really know.
You'd have yourself then you'd have a real good start to a bluebell country day. Homemade ice cream. What a perfect way to say. Have yourself a bluebell country day. Okay, 4 cups vanilla bluebell ice cream.
4 cups of ice cream, 1 1/2 cups of milk.
2 teaspoons vanilla extract. 2 teaspoons white sugar. Blend until creamy. Want it nice and creamy. Pour into a tall glass with a straw, and then garnish with whipped cream or Ready Whip. At which point you can top it with a cherry, or you can get a Hershey's bar and a cheese grater and grate chocolate shavings on the whipped cream.
Kids loved it.
Oh, I had one, and I'm not used to eating sugar because I'm like Red Mountain approved. Hashtag not an ad.
I don't think you're supposed to be eating dairy.
Babe.
Alan had issues.
I had I was wanting the biggest do-over.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the worst issue.
Yes, you did.
Because I can't, seriously, I've been eating so clean. I had a big sugar dump, no pun intended, big sugar dump load.
Well, they say when people have like the gastric bypass surgery, they can't eat sugar like that. It makes them, it's a sugar dump.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, right?
And then the dairy. Yeah, I was having issues. But you talk about
it was so bad.
But you talk about a good taste of milkshake.
Oh. It was very rich. It was very good though.
Very, very good. It tasted just like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
There you go. There's your little added value.
Added value.
So Alan bragging on his ability, and I am playing down mine because my cooking is way off. Okay, so I finally got Alan to sit down with me. You don't understand. I talk to my friends, and I'm so envious of my couples friends. They say they sit down every night and they watch all these TV shows together. I'm like, how? How do you do that? They watch series together and all these Netflix shows and movies and mysteries, and I can't get Alan to watch anything with me. And finally, I was like, maybe he'd like Top Chef because Alan likes to cook. He's not interested in Top Chef. And so
I like to cook. I don't like to watch people.
But you
cook.
would like the competition show. It's fun.
I mean, how many?
I'm DVRing it. We'll see.
I mean, how many reality shows can a guy watch? I mean,
well, none, because you don't watch any with me. None.
I've seen them all, man.
No, you haven't.
I've seen them all.
I can't get you to watch anything. So anyway, I've been begging him to watch Joe Exotic with me. Begging him. And I said, look, I listened to the podcast. It was really good. Everybody's telling me the documentary is great.
I think I'm being misrepresented. I think you mentioned this like once or twice. And I was like, okay, what is it?
Alan. So anyway, I finally was like, okay, tonight, please, 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 can we watch it? So we sat down and we watched one episode.
Fascinating. Absolutely.
And then I looked it out and I was like, what do you want to do? He said, let's watch another one. Okay, great. So we watched 2 episodes, and then it's getting kind of late. Look at my watch. It was like 9:30. I was like, what do you think, babe? What do you think? He's like, let's watch one more. He is really digging it.
It's very interesting. It's a mystery. It's got suspense. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
You know,
very sad.
The animals parts of it is sad.
Very sad.
It's got the most wheels off cast of characters.
And they're all real people.
Since what was the one we watched with Bob?
Oh, Abducted in Plain Sight.
It's on well, it's a lot different than that, but it is as wheels off as far as characters go.
It's crazy, y'all.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the podcast, Joe Exotic, the Tiger King podcast, they go so much deeper into the characters and the people, and it's so interesting. So go watch it on Netflix if you want. We haven't had time to watch another episode, but I'm excited. I'm just so happy that we're watching something together.
I'll watch shows with you as long as they're good shows.
But how do you know until you get started?
I know in the first 15 minutes. The one with the dancing costumes, I knew I was going to be out on that.
That's the Masked Singer.
I tried. And I was like, I don't like
you
this.
You sit down with the attitude, like, show me something.
I know, because everything's been done. But
the Tiger King, Joe Exotic has
a gay cowboy named Joe Exotic who has tigers.
And 2 husbands.
2 husbands who's calling from jail. And he's got this lady chasing him down. And this lady's a nut. And she's had like 9 husbands. And she killed 2 of them or something. I mean, that's interesting. To me, that's interesting.
Okay. Now we've got the barometer.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that I got Alan to do that. And the other thing I've been doing, in addition to getting him to watch Netflix with me, Alan's been doing a lot of his tattoo art again. That's been really fun for you.
I've been drawing.
I mean, hours and hours.
Night.
You know, and I wish I was. I want to read. That's what I want to do.
My hand hadn't hurt this much since I was single.
But I wish I had a talent like that. I went to Amazon. And I was like, Alan suggested, why don't you start painting? And I'm that person that I get really excited at the idea of painting and then overwhelmed and intimidated by it. So I've got all these things on Amazon saved for later, like the canvases, the paints, all that stuff saved for later, because I'm just afraid to get started. It's going to be a big mess, and I'm afraid I won't follow through.
The kid may have already ordered something to get you started. Not saying anything else.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't order anything, because it's all unsaved. I saved it all in my cart.
Oh, did you really?
Well, it's just saved.
What did you put in your cart?
Canvases and paints.
Really? What kind of paints?
Well, I kind of Googled it, and it said I should probably start with acrylic.
Oh, acrylic paint? Yeah. You know how to paint with acrylic paint?
Well, I have painted before with acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said oil might be a little bit difficult. They said some oil paintings can take up to a year to dry.
Yeah. Yeah, oil paint's for somebody who kind of knows what they're doing. You start with, I do watercolor.
They said watercolor's the hardest one to start with, because it's hard to...
Really?
That's what this video
said.
I
cheat and I use the watercolor pens.
These were to be watercolor pens?
I have some coming, yeah.
For me?
Well, we can use them together.
I want to paint. I want to be like...
You can paint with these. They're like paintbrushes. They just contain the paint and they have a brush end.
All right, we'll see. I
don't know. I'm not saying you have to use them. I'm just...
Did you give me an easel? I have an easel on hold.
No, but I have a million sketchbooks. You should start a sketchbook.
No, I want to sit down at the thing and paint.
You do what you want, baby. You need to be creative. Do what you want.
Well, I don't even know how I want to do it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm that person. I used to go like around to Michael's and the craft stores, and I get a buggy and I go around. I'd spend like 2 hours. I'm like, I'm going to find a project. I want to do something artsy and creative. So I would go up and down the aisles. I get these things to paint and things, all this stuff to do. And then I'd be in there for 2 hours, because the first hour I'd be picking everything out and loading up in my buggy. And then the second hour I'd be putting everything back, because I talked myself out of it. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this.
Do it. I got into this kind of stuff when I was a kid. My dad used to buy me. I think I've told you. He used to buy me plastic model kits,
Yeah.
Airplanes and cars, and he and I would build those. And when I was small, I couldn't paint them. But when I got older and I had my own place, I bought an airbrush. So I started airbrushing cars and airplanes.
See, those are hobbies. I don't have
That was fun.
hobbies.
It was a lot of fun. But then
I envy people who have hobbies.
But doing that kind of stuff now, it is so time consuming that just picking up a sketch pad and doodling for a little while. Well, now we're in quarantine, so I have a lot of time, but that's a lot quicker. You know what I mean? It's just, I can bang out some sketches quick.
Wow.
So what do you think?
You're very talented.
You think they look pretty good?
They do look great, and I'm envious of that. But I wish I could pick up a hobby. Apparently, Rosetta Stone is giving 3 months free for students, and you don't have to have a student ID or anything. So I don't know, if you've got a kid, you could maybe get your kid the account, and I could be learning a foreign language, because Rosetta Stone's really expensive. And then to be able to learn a foreign language, I could do that while we're in quarantine.
I want to learn Australian.
Another thing I won't do.
I want to learn Australian or Austrian, one of the two.
But another thing I'm doing is I'm recording not only I'm the live Kid Craddock in the morning show, the Kid Craddock morning show. I do a Sandwiches and Lovin podcast with my husband. We've been doing that in quarantine as well. And I'm also doing the Love Letters to Kelly podcast, which has been going on about a month now. It's been going well with producer Robert Ehrman.
Stop talking.
So fun. And we did our first quarantine episode yesterday.
How's Robert doing?
He's doing good.
Is he okay?
He's doing good. He announced on the Love Letters to Kelly podcast that he is going through a divorce.
Oh, he
did announce
he
it.
said that on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I
was waiting for him to announce it in his own time, but he also has the Fat Guy Handbook podcast, and he said he announced it on there too.
Oh, is he okay?
He's doing really well. He and his wife.
I love Robert.
He's
great,
right?
He's a great guy.
But the divorce isn't quite final because there's a 60-day waiting period in Texas, and now because of the quarantine, everything's on hold. So, but they're divorced, but at least they're not quarantined together. That would be awkward, wouldn't it? You have to be quarantined in the same house with the person you're divorcing.
So I can be Robert's wingman.
You could be whenever you're able to go back out again. But that's the thing. I think quarantine is going to lead to a lot of new babies, and it's going to lead to a lot of divorces, because you're either going to realize, hey, we got a lot of spare time. Let's do, I'm bored. Let's grab sex, right? Or you're going to realize, I hate him. I hate her. I can't live another minute in this marriage. I want out. That's going to be, I think the divorce rate is going to go really up.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think they're going to spike. But that's why we have Love Letters to Kelly. And so we were answering questions from a lady who's trying to date while in quarantine. That was interesting.
How do you do that?
Exactly. We called her and talked on the phone. We hashed some things out.
What'd she say?
Honey, listen to Love Letters to Kelly.
I guess I should listen. Yeah. What am I doing?
But then Robert read a letter from a man named Gregorio. And Alan thinks Gregorio is not a real name. I was like, it is a real name. I've heard Gregorio.
It is so made up.
Gregorio did some online dating.
Yes.
And wanted me to know that he was dating Alan's nephew. And at first, he thought this guy's pulling his leg. This isn't Alan's nephew, but Alan's nephew had picture evidence to prove it.
No, wait a second. This is where it becomes unclear. Gregorio had picture evidence?
No, Alan's
or
nephew.
The purported Alan's nephew.
Alan's gay nephew.
Alan's gay nephew had picture evidence of what?
Of you with said nephew.
With me and the gay nephew.
Right.
Okay.
And he said the reason, Gregorio said on his profile, I don't know if it was Bumble, Tinder, or what, I can't remember.
Did you see it?
No.
Oh.
I asked Robert to try to get it. So Robert didn't tell me at first who wrote the letter. He just said, yes, I met this guy I'm interested in.
Was the gay nephew wearing a scarf?
Baby, I haven't seen anything.
Was
and
he?
It would be you. So it starts off, he said, so I saw something about kids or something, and we started talking about kids, and that led to talk about Kelly Raspberry, and it's like he thought it was kind of odd that maybe the guy was using me, that Alan's nephew was using my name on the social media or whatever. But anyway, I didn't realize that a man wrote the letter to the end and he said that was signed Gregorio. I said, oh, so our nephew's gay? I said, well, here's the problem. Alan doesn't have any nephews by his sister, but by marriage.
I have 2 nieces.
They're not nephews, honey.
That's what. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm reinforcing your point. My sister
But
has 2 girls, 2 small girls.
But I said, Alan doesn't have any nephews except for by marriage. I said, and one of them is in high school. The other one is engaged to a girl. And Alan said, well, all of my nephews would live out of the country.
I was confused. I was thinking cousins. I've got a million cousins.
Right.
But I don't have any nephews.
And apparently, I was like, Robert, you've got to message him back. I said, because you're being catfished. The guy's being catfished.
Yeah, he's being catfished.
But I want to see the picture evidence, because the thing about Alan is his picture is in some sort of catfish ring. I don't know how it happens. I guess the pictures get passed around in some sort of dark web. But his picture is used constantly on these fake profiles. And everybody can say, oh, your husband's lying to you. That's really him. No, it's really not. It's a guy that pulls, or whoever it is. Do
people say that?
I'm sure they think that's probably really you. Some people probably think you're doing it, but it's not. People go through his Instagram account. They'll pull pictures of him with his sons, never with me, of course, because he's supposed to be a single dad. And they'll give him a fake name, and he'll basically try to scam women out of money.
Yeah, they scam women out of money.
And we actually were contacted by one of the women.
We're going to have her on one day. But
it got really kind of sketchy with her too. But the so funny thing, somebody took one of Alan does cooking videos sometimes. You remember the guy who tried to overdub his voice over your video?
Yeah.
It was like, he was trying to match what Alan's mouth was saying, but talk to this girl to prove that he was real. He was like, I love you, baby. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so good. I love you so much, baby. It was so funny.
But then my mouth is moving like I'm like cooking.
I love you so much, baby. I love you so good. I love you so much.
You're so
I miss
beautiful.
you so much. You're so good.
You're so beautiful. I love you so much. So
Did we save that video?
I don't know.
Oh, if we have to post that.
It's really nice. But yeah,
it's sad because people are using that and taking people for money.
It's mostly, from what I can tell, it's mostly overseas.
Yeah.
Because most people who say, hey, I was talking to this guy and I got suspicious and I did a Google image search. Most of them are from overseas. These women are from overseas. They don't know how I am. They're like, hey, just so you know, this guy is on a dating site. He was trying to pick me up, but he's using your pictures.
Constantly.
Happens all the time.
So I don't know how you got in that web.
I just, like I've told you before many times, I have a friendly face. People approach me for a number of different reasons.
They do?
Yeah.
You get approached for what?
Well, I've told you before when we were at the with the Texarkana. Remember at the tequila bar? The very nice people came up and started talking to us. Remember about going to the club?
What club?
Oh my God, babe, you got the worst case of Hashimoto's. This was like 4 podcasts ago.
Well, what if somebody's just tuning into this podcast for the first time?
The Winging Club.
It always goes back to swinging.
Yes. I told you I just have a friendly face.
Well, I think you have a face that people, you're half Filipino, half white.
That's what they tell me.
But I think you have one of those faces like people can't quite put their finger on.
Right.
So I think that's one reason, because you're
multicultural.
You're multicultural looking, and people can't.
Like Tiger Woods, Calabinasian.
So you could.
I'm Texapino.
So if the person is trying to appeal to a Latina woman, or if she's trying to a Middle Eastern woman, or I really
Italian.
Yeah, so you could you could blend in with any of those cultures. I think that's one reason why you were targeted.
But and I've told you this before too. It's not like I'm just springing this on you. You know who consistently I get the most eyes from? Just out every day at Starbucks, and I'm just
you get eyes.
Get eyes from somebody.
You get eyes.
Yeah. But you know what group of people that is mostly
people
from?
Who mistake you for Jeffrey Dean Morgan. People who think, God, that guy looks familiar, and they can't figure out why, because you like Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
No. The African American ladies.
Oh, yeah.
The sisters.
Really?
They like a little AE.
Do they?
I think so. That's who always wants to strike up a conversation.
Maybe you should see where that goes.
I don't see where it goes. I say I'm a happy married man.
That's what you say. That's what you say. Sure. Well, I'm a happy married woman.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what's made me really happy has been lounging around the house because, I've been trying to, do my hair, do my makeup every day. I want to be in a routine because I think you do feel better about yourself. But one thing I will not do is I will not be uncomfortable. Alan knows there's one thing I insist on is comfort.
Comfort.
I want a comfortable temperature. I want comfortable bras. I want comfortable pants. I have been living in my Figs joggers. I would have them on right now, but I finally had to wash them.
I think you wore a hole in the backside of
I'm
them.
telling you, I it's time to order some more Figs.
God.
These are medical scrubs.
Seriously,
I'll tell
guys,
you,
she can't take them off.
I can't. I love them. And they were covered in schmutz. I finally had to put them in the washing machine. It was bad. But Alan loves them too. They're our favorite joggers. But they're, yes, we can wear them. We can order Figs. But they're truly meant for medical professionals who want to look stylish but also want to feel good because the traditional scrubs, scratchy, they don't breathe well. The fabrics, they're not cute. With Figs, they're stylish, but they are breathable fabrics. They have got they're comfortable. They're antimicrobial. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
Sure is.
There are all these great products, aspects, properties. Is that what the word? I'm losing my words. Moisture wicking, because they're under high stress situations. Sometimes they're like sweating. These things are moisture wicking. Sometimes these doctors and nurses, they're sleeping in the hospital. They're comfortable enough to sleep in, Alan. But they're super cute and comfy, and they've got tons of pockets. And they talk to the medical professionals when they styled these. They wanted to look good. They wanted to be functional as well. And I'll tell you right now, our medical professionals are on the front lines. They are busting their rear ends during this coronavirus crisis that we're in. I'll tell you what, if there's a medical professional who has helped you in any way, a really great way to show your thanks to them is to give them a Figs gift card. Because they truly, whenever I wear my Figs out, doctors and nurses, oh my gosh, are you wearing Figs? I'm like, yes, I am, because I know the secret. I know how comfortable and wonderful these are. And Figs don't just stop at scrubs. They have the lab coats, jackets, tote bags, compression socks, everything medical professionals and people like me who want to feel good and wear them at home. So look, if you have a medical professional in your life, give them the gift of Figs. If you want to give a thank you note, slip in a little Figs gift card, I'm telling you, they will never forget that.
So is there a doctor in the house? A vet tech? Radiologist? Regional radio star? Professional podcaster? Any other awesome human in the medical industry? And even if you don't work in the medical industry, you definitely know someone that does, and you should tell them about it or gift them some Figs. Listeners of A Sandwich and Some Lovin' are getting 15% off for a limited time. So go to wearfigs.com. That's WEARFIGS.com and enter code SANDWICH15 at checkout. Y'all get that? That's a new code. Wearfigs.com, enter code SANDWICH15 at checkout.
I do need some new Figs.
I love my Figs.
I do too.
One of those Figs all day, every day.
I'll be wearing them again tomorrow because they're in the dryer as we speak.
Love Figs.
Babe, what do we have on the agenda for tomorrow? It's another day of quarantine at Evans Manor. Alan did yard work.
That's exciting.
He trimmed all these things, all these projects we've been putting off, been doing it. I cleaned out a bathroom.
We got a new.
I went in there and I cleaned out all the cabinets. I felt really good about that.
We had a new air conditioner put in today.
Had a new air conditioner unit put in,
Kind of a drag.
but it was necessary. It's about to go, and we are already like, oh my gosh, what a difference.
Yeah.
Night and day. We're in love.
Yeah.
We're taking care of some products. So
Take care of some business.
So what are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing?
Well, you'll get up. You'll come in here and do a nationally syndicated radio show.
Yeah.
I'll make you breakfast. I'll go back in there, check my email, watch the news, wander back into the living room, I'll wander back into the dining room, probably draw a little bit, wander back over here by your door, look in here, see what you're doing. You'll kind of look at me and say you're on the air, and I'll just wander back off into the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'll kind of stand there and stare, watch the news for a little while, and then just kind of repeat that scenario.
Yeah, until I get off the air.
Until noon.
Yeah.
And then at which point you and I will make lunch, kind of look and stare at each other, watch the news. Emma Kelly will amble down at maybe 12:30 or 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, she swears she's up. She's not up.
Then she'll get something to eat. Then you and I will kind of just
Will she speak to us?
Sometimes, depends on the day. But then sometimes you and I may kind of just wander out into the backyard, just kind of sit there and just look at the pool. Don't say anything really, just kind of sit there and look.
We're just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of what we do.
What are you making for supper tomorrow night? Because I know one thing I'm not doing, and that's cooking tomorrow.
I want to smoke a chicken. I'm going to fire up the smoker and I'm going to smoke a chicken.
Put the chicken out so it can be thawed.
Yeah, we do. It takes a whole day for a frozen chicken to thaw out.
Yeah, we can do that.
About 2 hours on the smoker, little hickory wood. Oh, make you slap your granny. That's so good.
All right. Well, that's what we're doing.
How about a smoked chicken?
Hashtag quarantine life.
Yeah. Tell us about your quarantine life at podcast@kellyandallen.com.
Yeah, are you taking up a new hobby?
Are you taking up a new
Are
hobby?
you painting?
Is there anything interesting that you're doing that we should be doing?
Are you learning Espanol? Are you trying new recipes and failing?
Yeah. Do you have any recipes you could send to us? I feel like I posted a lot of my stories on Instagram at the Alonzo 1971.
Are you considering divorce? Has quarantine you've had it? Out of there?
Have you been hit on by Alan's gay nephew?
Have you been hit on by Alan? I don't know that.
That's a good question.
Oh, no. You know what I want to do right now? I want to wrap this up.
You can bring home for Jerome.
I want to go watch another episode, or maybe 2, of Joe Exotic, the Tiger King. And then I want to cuddle up and go to sleep. That's what I want to do.
All right, let's go watch the Tiger King.
Wrap up this quarantine life together.
Okay. Well, at some point, I know we teased it on a podcast, a couple of podcasts ago. I want to talk about the most wheels off last meals and last words from serial killers.
Yes.
You'd be amazed.
We talked about that before you went on the RV adventure and before I went to South
then
Carolina, and then everything just kind of spiraled.
Everything hit the fan.
Look, that's the next podcast.
Okay.
That's the next podcast.
Well, we have that.
We promise. It's going to be, don't y'all be looking it up. You let Alan surprise you.
It'll be shocking. It'll be funny. It'll be lewd. It'll be.
Lewd?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The guys that did these crimes? Lewd. Yes. Yes.
So you're going to talk about the crimes too?
No.
Just a little bit.
Well, maybe.
We have to know who they are.
Yeah.
Point of reference.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
All right.
All right, babe. Well, this was good. This is fun. Talked about a lot.
We did. And now we're done talking.
And now we're done. All right. Well, I love you desperately.
I love
Another
you
podcast
too.
in the can. I love our listeners desperately. You know what? I'm becoming comfortable with quarantine.
That's the danger.
I'm not going to say I love it desperately, but hey,
that's the danger.
It's becoming the new normal.
We're getting a little too comfortable with quarantine.
Yeah, we are. Get life back going again. Need to open the country back on for business. It's not meant to be shut down by the Chinese virus.
That's something you can work on.
Came from China. Yeah, I know. I'm not doing it very well.
I mean, I get it. I get what you're doing.
I know. I'm not doing it very well.
You can do. You're on the right track.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll podcast again real soon.
Thank you, honey.
Hopefully, if we don't get coronavirus. And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich. Bye. All right.
Okay, so don't forget to include Blake.
Kara said, I sealed the grout.
Yeah.
And rearranged the furniture. That's awesome. That sounds like something we would do. Well, what are we going to do now? Well, we'll seal the grout, I guess. We'll do that. All right. Oh, let's see here. A sandwich and some comfortable in quarantine. Yeah, a sandwich and some kitchen filler.
I mean, you can always eat. I mean, I can say quarantine. I think I said, did I say that last time?
A sandwich and some comfortable in quarantine. Man, I feel like I could just fall asleep right now.
I know. You're ignoring everybody that's sitting in the room. This is when you usually talk to everybody.
Well, no, I'm not ignoring everybody, but I have to clean this room up for the so you can do the nationally syndicated Keep Credit Morning Show, right? Evans. Whoops. Oh. Oh gosh, guys. Whew. What my deal is. Hey Tammy, that's a good thought. I have not looked into that. I've noticed that those plants that they usually eat, they've come up and they're growing up now that spring has started. And I haven't noticed the rabbits eating them so far. I have my owl out there, and the owl usually scares them away, but I need to sprinkle that rabbit repellent. When I sprinkle that stuff, that we never have them because that stuff smells awful. Absolutely awful. Whoops. Sorry, Tiffany. I don't know what my deal is. I got the sleepies today. Prismacolor Magic Rub. I was doing one of my, or I was posting my drawings today, and somebody DM'd me, and she had an interesting question. She says, what brand is your eraser? And, it's so worn down, I have no idea what brand it is. So I just Googled eraser brands because I don't know any eraser brands. And remember those ones you used to use in grade school, the pink ones? They were kind of like flat and they were kind of wedge shaped on each side. Those apparently were the Pink Pearl erasers. But then there was another one called the Prismacolor Magic Rub. So I DM'd her back and I said, is it the Pink Pearl or is it maybe it's the Magic Rub? And she said, the Magic Rub, that's the one I like. I was like, whoa. That's all I said. I was like, whoa. Magic Rub. So those work pretty good. All right, let's see here, guys. Oh. Hold on 2 seconds. Who's the other person we're supposed to send it to now? Blake?
Blake.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Magic Rub. Going on here. All right. Good night. We'll see you next time. Yeah, we're gonna start up a little Tiger Exotic here in a minute. What is it? Tiger Man?
Tiger King.
Tiger King. We're gonna start up Tiger King. All right, guys. Have a good night. It's late. It feels like it's late. We'll talk to you guys soon. Yeah, everybody stay healthy. 6 feet away. No groups of 10 or more. Only, what is it? Only trips to the grocery store and where else can you go? Post office and the gas station. We're gonna beat this thing.